Inflation. Who knew that we were going to see eggs cost more than steak? Inflation affects all aspects of pricing, including housing. So, have you ever stopped to consider how it's affecting your mortgage payment? The Federal Reserve, or the Fed, has made it abundantly clear that they are trying to get a handle on inflation. Their goal is to get inflation back to 2%. According to Investopia, inflation is defined as a rise in prices, which can be defined as a decrease in purchasing power over time. Basically, if a loaf of bread costs $1 and inflation is 4%, then next month the same loaf of bread is going to cost $1.04. And in the last year or two, we have seen the Fed raise interest rates, which has cooled down inflation quite a bit. Check out this graph from Keeping Current Matters. What you can see is that over the last 12 months, inflation has dropped. But, there's always a but, we are still short of the Fed's goal of that 2% range, and the Fed is not going to back off just yet, because if they back off too soon, inflation's going to spike again. So how exactly does this rate of inflation affect you as a home buyer with your mortgage? We know that it affects groceries and gas and the cost of other things, but how does it affect your monthly payment? Fed rate hikes do not directly relate to mortgage payments, but there is a correlation between the two. This graph here illustrates the effect that the federal rate has on mortgage rates, and this graph goes all the way back to 1972. The green line of this graph represents the 30-year mortgage fixed rate, while the blue line represents inflation. While not exactly the same, you can see how the mortgage rate tends to follow the trends of inflation. At the end of the graph, you can see that inflation is starting to come down, and it would stand to reason that mortgage rates would be not far behind, especially based on the historical data and the correlation between the two. At the end of the day, if inflation goes down, mortgage rates usually go down too. Now, can I or anyone tell you exactly when those rates are going to come down or how low they're going to go? Nope. But what I can tell you is this is not another 2008. So if fear of a repeat recession has you frozen, we need to have a conversation. Because maybe you should be sitting on the sidelines, or maybe you should be taking advantage of today's market. There's no way to know until you dive into your specific situation, but that is what I am here to do. And if you're sitting in the camp that's convinced that the market is crashing and real estate is crumbling, did you know that today alone, there's going to be more than 10,000 houses that sell? I'm Lindsey Johnson, your resource for all things real estate. See you next time.